we're doing is putting a microphone in citizens' face. Oh, no, really? So you're saying me putting a microphone in people's face to talk is smearing them?
No, that's where you're going to cut it. You're going to cut it however.
No, you don't follow our channel. Come here, sir. Come here, sir. Come here. I'm offering you a chance to talk. See, you're smearing yourself. Here we go.
If you can, in some way, get a form or something to promise to not cut any of what I say, have the full.
Before you put it out.
You can go to Alex Jones' channel on YouTube and see your videos in entirety.
He's a liar. Dude, Alex Jones is the top of my head.
Yes, I love it. He's got nothing.
Hey, I mean, dude, he's
Just. Sorry, folks. I got so fired up, you know. People say all this stuff about Trump. They have nothing to say, no depth. This guy says Alex Jones is a liar, just got stumped himself.
hell. What about federal government takeover of Texas?
They did. They enacted many drills.
Federal government took over Texas. Is that what you're saying?
Are you saying that Jade Helm exercises didn't happen?
No, they happened.
So what's your point?
Alex Jones' entire point was that it was the federal government trying to take over Texas.
Are you familiar with geolocation and geo-tracking and geo-mapping?
That sounds like conspiracy theory garbage. So.
That's a government document, sir.
I don't believe that.
Okay, so you're the one that comes to this debate uneducated and ignorant.
It's not. I can pull out any bogus random term from.
No, I'm citing government documents.
It doesn't matter. You're using it. You can use it out of context. You can use it however.
No, sir. No, sir. You said Alex Jones was a conspiracy theorist on Jade Helm. I cited the government document that existed and the exercise, and then you fell blank.
No, you used it out of context. I have no idea what.
Well, you brought up Jade Helm, and now how am I using it out of context?
The word geolocation, whatever.
Geospatial mapping?
Yeah, okay, what it is. Yeah, what is it?
Okay, so
what is it?
So everyone here has a cell phone, correct? At any given time, because of the applications on your cell phone, you have signed away your rights. They can turn on your camera. They can turn on your microphone. They can turn on everything. They have Snapchat. Snapchat has facial recognition, folks. What do you think they're doing with that technology? Absolutely correct. So I was responding to the gist man. So what do you say about that? I just told you what geospatial mapping is.
I got nothing else to say.
So I beat you.
So now this guy has nothing else to say. And the fact of the matter is that, no, so this is obviously people that have Trump derangement syndrome. Listen, I don't agree with everything that Alex Jones says and does either. There's a lot of things I've got problems with in Alex Jones as well. But you know what? To say that he's wrong on every single thing that's out there is also not accurate. But that's a narrative that these guys want to portray because these people have Trump derangement syndrome. This is exactly what the left does, folks, when they talk to Trump supporters. And let's face it, sometimes people on the right, sometimes conservatives, they may not believe everything that's going on because they just don't, even in the face of evidence that's out there. But for whatever reason, they don't want to believe it. Okay, that's fine. And when they get interviewed, they look as ridiculous as this person does right here. And the fact of the matter is that to say, you know what, I haven't heard of that, but I'd certainly like to go back and do my own due diligence on it and then see, because I'm not going to exactly take your word for it. But if you're saying there's a government document that's out there, I want to go ahead and take a look at it rather than just outlandishly saying, I don't believe that. But that's, anyways, that's the narrative, that's the spin that these leftists, these progressives, these liberals, want to take, especially those with Trump derangement syndrome. Anyways, let's continue.
In a debate.
No, you didn't.
I'm a liar.
Yeah.
What did I lie about?
I don't know. You work for Alex Jones.
I will promise this man this. We will put this entire video on YouTube, sir. I promise you that.
Most people that have guns don't use them on other people.
That's
You
true.
said if you have a gun, you're going to use it.
Well,
you don't.
What's that I'm
Most
saying? If
people
you
don't.
have a gun, you better be able to use it?
Most people are overwhelmingly good.
Okay, yeah, well, but most people have a gun. 350 million Americans. There are 310 million guns.
Right, that doesn't mean that most people have a gun. It doesn't distribute exactly that way.
But, people,
you know that.
people
you know
are...
that.
He's exactly right. Penn and Teller is telling the lady on the right, you know that. What type of math is that? 2 + 2 = 9? That's what she's basically trying to say here. She's ridiculous. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about.
Blaming violence in movies and videos on
insane.
this.
That's insane.
Really? What is it called? Art of War, Man of War? What do the kids play?
Call of Duty.
We don't allow that in our house. Really?
Right.
So buying Call of Duty. There needs to be more hugs in households.
Those aren't mutually exclusive.
More hugs in households. No video games. Just more hugs in your homes. This lady is saying she doesn't allow that in her home. That I find very hard to believe.
Well,
Nothing in Call of Duty says you can't hug your family.
well, you know what?
Nothing
This
says-
boy's favorite game pen was Call of Duty.
Yes, and many peaceful people. You're doing the same thing. Call of Duty is the most popular game there is. Everyone's playing it, so of course bad people are going to play it too.
Yeah,
to try to blame Shakespeare and the violence in Shakespeare and the violence in art for violence that happens in the real world is something that's been tried for years and is always wrong. People must take responsibility. We must stop blaming society and actually blame the perpetrator.
Yeah, you know what?
Call of Duty is something that young people like and enjoy, and it's a game.
I think
and
that's
most
up
of
to
those
parents,
people
though,
aren't
to
violent.
observe
Most of those
their
people aren't
kids.
violent. Most of the
To
people
see,
aren't
like,
violent.
we need to
Most
take
people are
responsibility
good.
for our own houses.
And we
Jamie
have to
Foxx?
stop disliking our children. We attack comic books. We attack monster movies. Now we're attacking video games. Love our children and know that they
Take
can
care of your
play.
household.
Let them play.
Wow. That's a conservative talking point. I had no idea that his views were that strong on that. Now, the fact of the matter is, listen, there is so much gratuity, there is so much violence that's out there, there's so much sexualization that's out there. But the fact of the matter is that what are you going to do? Are you going to stop it? You can't stop it, folks. And to blame. Now, there are times when people have said the reason that we did that or the reason that it happened was because of XYZ. It was because of a movie. It was because of a book. So if suppose, for example, somebody read Shakespeare and decided to commit suicide, are you going to blame Shakespeare for that? You can't continue doing this, folks. When are we going to blame the people for taking the decisions themselves and put the responsibility on the side of the people that commit these acts, not the things that they say that might have caused them? Because even if you were to believe that 100%, the fact of the matter is they still had a reason to say, okay, I read that, I saw that, it was written, I read it, but you know what? I'm not going to do that. That's just ridiculous.
Jamie Foxx is one of the only celebrities that
Jamie
tweeted
Foxx
out-
is wrong.
Well, he says
Dead
we
wrong.
cannot turn our backs and say that violence in films or anything that we do doesn't have some sort of influence. It does.
So Jamie Foxx now is talking. Then what the hell are you involved in all the movies that contain gratuitous violence and gratuitous sex? Aren't you contributing to that, Jamie Foxx, if that's true?
I go along with that.
Blame the killers. Why not
Yes.
blame the killers?
Well, some of the
Do
killers
not
learn
blame
their
the
killing
artists.
through movies,
Blame the
but-
killers, not the artists.
All right.
Why are you blaming artists for something that bad people did?
And it's-
Shakespeare is not a bad person. He wrote beautiful stuff. It has suicide, it has murder, and it tells us something about our hearts. And people who watch Shakespeare don't kill. And Call of Duty is art. It is not some sort of propaganda thing. And that's an easy way
How
out.
about this? That this is a case of violence with guns, video games, and mental health. Now, here's a kid who was borderline autistic with Asperger's. They have a lot of social problems.
But
They
they
don't know
have
how to
no
they don't
violent
interact.
problems.
No.
None.
Autistic
People
kids are
solve
usually
things.
victims. My point is that if you sit this kid in a room all day shooting people, if they have no social
How
skills,
do you know that? You're just making
it's
that
been
up.
well, it's
He
been
had no
reported.
social
No, it
skills.
hasn't been-
It's been reported.
There's no evidence that Asperger's syndrome people go violent from playing games.
that's
you
not
have
about
you have
Asperger's.
not one data point of evidence on that.
I'm not saying that.
Well, you just said it.
You just said it.
Let me try to be
Okay,
clearer.
please.
Here's a person who has troubles figuring out what's social and what's not. And he's inundated with shoot, 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 shoot. And then a little plan comes across, well, maybe I'll just go to school and shoot people.
No, you've just done cause and effect where it doesn't exist.
There's no guilt. There's no guilt. There's no conscience.
That's not true that there's no guilt and no conscience.
He wouldn't make eye
That's not
contact with his
Asperger's.
barber.
Please don't tear those people apart.
I
have good friends with Asperger's. They have
they
have conscience. They have empathy. All of that is not true. You're spreading lies about people who are part of our society and that we need to love and take care of and cherish.
Mr. Friedman, referring to the statements that you made about women who advocate equal pay for equal work.
Gee, I thought I'd get a rise out of that sooner or later. Delighted to have it.
Yes, okay, I just would like to know if you're insinuating or perhaps, point blankly saying that women and other minorities' skills are inferior to those of those now holding those jobs, and that they need to go through a period where their skills need to be improved and therefore deserve to be paid less?
No, I don't think desert has anything to do with it. I'm not, first of all, I think desert is an impossible thing to decide. Who deserves what? Nobody deserves anything. Thank God we don't get what we deserve. But I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying a very different thing. I'm saying that the actual effect of requiring equal pay for equal work will be to harm women. If women's skills are higher than men's in a particular job and are recognized to be higher, the law does no good, because then they will be able to compete away and can get the same income. If their skills are less for whatever reason, maybe it isn't because it's their sex, maybe it's because they were out of the labor force, maybe it's for other reasons, and you say the only way you are able to hire them is by paying the same wage, then you're denying them the only weapon they have to fight with. If the unwillingness of the men to hire them is because the men are sexist, what's the phrase, racist, sexist pigs or whatever, if that's the only reason they want to hire them, nonetheless, you want to make it costly to them to exercise their prejudice. If you say to them, you have to pay the same wage no matter whether you hire women or men, then here's Mr. Sexist Pig. It doesn't cost him anything to hire men instead of women. However, if the women are free to compete and to say, well, now look, I'll offer my work for less, then he can only hire men if he bears a cost. If the women are really good as a man, as good as a man, then he's paying a price for discriminating. And what you are doing, not intentionally, but by misunderstanding, when you try to get equal pay for equal work laws, is what you are doing is reducing to zero the cost imposed on people who are discriminating for irrelevant reasons. And I would like to see a cost imposed on them. I'm on your side.
Man, Milton Friedman, he's so good. You go back and take a look at his videos. The man is an absolute brainiac. What he was really trying to explain here to this young lady was the fact that in the marketplace, it will decide what the pay is going to be. And it's the same, if you take that analogy that he's using, it's the same thing that said that, okay, now you force the minimum wage. So now force the minimum wage, say federal minimum wage has got to be $15 an hour. Well, and so now, who is that going to price out of the market? It's going to price out of the market those first-time people that are looking for jobs, younger people, teenagers, women, minorities, and others who haven't had a chance to develop their skills in the labor force. So now what's that person going to do when he starts to hire somebody as a business owner? If he has a choice between hiring somebody who has got skills in that trade or has been working previously for a year, 2 years, or whatever, and is now looking for a job, and he's got 2 or 3 or 4 applicants that haven't done a job yet, and it's their first time in the workforce, who do you think that person is going to hire? He's going to hire the person that's got some skill level already because he doesn't have to spend as much time training him. Whereas the new person that's completely brand new, you're taking a chance, a risk on whether or not that person's going to be able to cut it, whether you're going to be able to train him, how long he's going to take to train, and then how long is he going to be able to do the workload on his own. And that has nothing to do with the skill set of whether it's sexist or whatever. It just depends upon who's going to be able to do that job quickly, effectively, and get the most bang, because that owner has got to get $15 worth an hour of return. He can't be paying somebody $15 an hour and getting back $7, $8, or $9 or $10 back in return. That's a losing proposition. Anyways, folks, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Shake Show. I've been your host, Dr. Nasser. Hope you enjoyed this video. Check out our other videos, links above and below. Put your comments down as well. My final thought, as always, is that when you're right, you're right, and when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.